All right, welcome back to Tech Dudes Weekly. We are actually going to start talking about a couple of topics that they're obviously hitting the news. We're going to jump in and talk about Vision Pro, except I think we're going to stay away from why it's great and how you go about, ordering it and everything else that's being talked about. But we see a couple of red flags with it coming out of the gate. I think it's worth bringing up. If you're going to spend $3,500, you should really know what you're buying.
To start
And
with.
yeah, exactly. And I think there's a couple of things that are worth noting. So one of the first things that we're seeing is, the App Store. This is what made Apple successful with the iPhone out of the gate. I think if anybody remembers Windows Phone, I remember it fondly. Nothing but it had no apps. I don't. That's not going to be the case here with this, but there is you should really step back and think about it because there are some major people, developers out there, companies that are
Big companies.
content forward. Yeah, big companies are they're content forward, and this is a content consumption device like an iPad.
Yes. Yep.
And some are putting up a red flag saying, no, we're not going to develop for that, and we're not going to allow you to push our apps from another source. So, with that said, why don't we bring up one of the sites that started off talking about it? Here's Bloomberg. They're reporting right out of the gate that YouTube, owned by Google, no surprise, and Spotify are not looking to launch apps. And Netflix was the first one to put a thing down saying, "Hey, we're not going to do it." Can you watch Netflix on it? Yeah, sure, through a browser. Even maybe making a web app out of it because Apple did that slick thing with the MacBook in Mac OS, but that's not the same as a native app.
Yep.
Dave, I think you found another source that gave some definitive lists of folks that are basically saying no thanks.
Yeah. So there's an article up on 9 to 5 Mac talking about, but why block iPad apps from running on a Vision Pro? Because by default, those apps should have natively ported over to begin with on this. This you made a reference to. This kind of goes back to the why we never had an Instagram app on iPad for so long. But this is the interesting part. The fact that the Vision Pro can run on iPad apps without any additional work by developers. Apple has set things up so that developers don't even have to tick a checkbox for their iPad to run on iPad app to run on Vision Pro. It's there by default. So as soon as you write an app for an iPad, boom, slides over to Vision Pro. Everything's fine, assuming that's what you want to do. However, developers do get the option of opting out. This, I think, could be petty. I don't know what the real reason for this is at this point. It's speculative at this point. Who knows? They may change their mind once the Pro actually gets in people's hands. And some major developers have done just that. Okay, here's some of the more surprising holdouts on the Vision Pro from an iPad app perspective. Major League Baseball. Okay, sports fans, if you can watch on a 120-inch screen and a native app in your iPad, your Vision Pro, I keep calling it an iPad Pro. I guess that's what it is for your face, an iPad for your face. Netflix. Why wouldn't you want to watch a 120-inch screen while you're sitting in your living room? I mean, that to me, and the web performance versus native app performance, it's just horrible. NFL, that's another holdout on it. Roku, I can see Roku. Roku's got their own line of TVs and stuff like that. I don't like Roku. That's just a personal thing. Please don't send me hate mail. Spotify, that's a huge one. All your Joe Rogan fans out there, they're going to have a problem on the Vision Pro not being able to run a native Spotify app on it. New York Times and YouTube, which I think there's going to be more. There's going to be more, I'll say, media companies out there doing it. But there's three likely reasons, which we won't get into at this point right now. We can save that for a later date. But I'm curious to see, and we'll have updates, how long or how many people, companies rather, start trying to, I won't say boycott, but we're just not going to do it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, and so I mean that's definitely one of the major red flags. It always was, even with an iPad with no Instagram app. That's weird. Nothing, but I think Apple's starting to run into this a little bit. That their third parties saying, maybe we don't want to just get sucked into the Apple ecosystem completely.
Yeah.
With that said, that another major red flag that I don't know, major red flag. It's a warning, I guess I'll put it that way, is that some of the accessories that Apple has already put out nothing on their website. I mean, they're not cheap. Nothing. I think
No.
we're seeing. Is it gouging? I don't know. Is it the other? You look at the what was that? The Mac Studio monitor there. You wanted the tilt stand. That was another $400.
Oh
It
yeah,
it feels like a repeat of that, and like here's some examples of it. If we look at the here, another battery, $200. I mean, really, a $200 battery? Knowing the case, I mean, that's molded plastic, $200, and the list just goes on. You want to keep light out of what should have already been light sealed. There's another two hundred
yeah.
dollars.
That one's ridiculous to me. I don't get that.
It's just, is it gouging? I don't know. Now, is it, will you see similar stuff like this probably offered by Belkin and 12 South and some of the other ones out there? Yeah, absolutely. And they'll probably make just as nice of an accessory for half the cost. So
Yeah. The funny thing about
disappointing.
this though is if you get the base model 256 of the Vision Pro and you buy just the normal accessory kit that you would get for this, it comes on a lot of the other VR AR headsets. You're already at $4,300, and that's on the
Right.
256 gig. If you the half terabyte and the terabyte are the more expensive versions, and the terabyte is $3,900. So if I tack on $800 to that, that's just freaking ridiculous.
And our point here is, I think, why does this not come with a decent case, or
No.
maybe a $35 add-on? You're gonna have to go third party for it. I mean, it's the same thing with my iPhone. Can I buy the Apple case for 50, 60, $70? Yeah, absolutely. Or I can spend $15 on something from Amazon that works okay, even if I
Yeah.
have to replace it three times and then because it turned yellow. Okay, then
Yep.
so yeah, it's something more to watch. I think we're going to see more and more articles about Vision Pro.
There's more to
you
come on
know
this. It's going to be an
yeah,
evolving conversation because we really haven't seen did anybody get shit because the glass to replace the glass on this thing is $800.
right. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a couple red flags coming out of the gate, and I think so. For $3,500, you know what you're purchasing. So, with
Yeah.
that said, I don't think we want to belabor Vision Pro anymore. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out on YouTube. We're going to watch it too. We'll throw in our 2 cents, and we appreciate everybody coming back. If you like this, please ring the bell and subscribe.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks all.